Hi folks, this is a video response to a post that Joe Carrick had in the Chief Talk suggestions forum for layout box borders. That's this post right here. I just kind of been working around on something. I don't know how useful it is. I don't even know if I would use it, but I just wanted to share it, see if anybody else wanted to expand on it or what they thought of it. What I'm trying to do is create an automatic layout label that attaches to your detail. And what I typically, let me see here, I typically create my details in CAD detail management, like I'm pretty sure all of you guys do, but I'm exploring the idea of creating a detail in a cross-section view, either using parts of the 3D model, like the model that we're cutting through, and maybe mask what I don't need, and then just add my notes and stuff on top of that, or maybe just switching to, tracing it with CAD, switching to a different layer set with the building elements off, and then just sending that CAD to the layout, which basically takes advantage of this feature here, how this keeps track of the layout page and the callout number. So what I've done is I've created a system that might work for that. It does have some constraints you got to work with. I don't even know if I would work with these, but here goes. So on a layout page, if this was my detail page, I've sort of created a grid where I would have each detail in a box, and it could be the smallest cell, or it could be 2 cells wide or 2 cells tall, or any combination. Like, you could be half the page if you wanted to. The reason for this, the reason I initially did this, is because I was going to try and set the automatic label as a default position inside the dialog box relative to the layout itself. So if I have the layout box as a known dimension, and I'm just going to set this one back to where I had it. If the layout box is a known dimension, then I've figured out the location of the layout label for each various width of box. The depth is always going to be the same because the Y0 is at the bottom of the box. And then I just have this overlay which places that callout label right in the middle of the box, or right in the middle of the circle here for the callout. And then I was exploring putting more into the layout label. So on this example, I have a layout label. What does that do? That gives me a 1.1, so that's giving me the sheet number. And typically I don't put the sheet number in the detail callout because it's on the sheet where it's called out to, but for this it allowed me to balance the entire label to have a detail description on the top and a scale description on the bottom. And for the scale description, I just renamed a layer set to the scale and called that out, which I think is pretty handy. So I would have to manually add the detail description in the layout box label. I'd have to do some adjustments to the spacing depending on like if this page number was A12.1, it does, these don't automatically center, and I've had to do some sliding around just to make everything look. See, that doesn't look quite centered in the box. So a lot of manual edits, which this one doesn't seem to really require, because normally my label would look just like detail text. I can't type in today, Friday, and then scale 3/4 inches, 1 foot. So normally I would have them looking more like this with a dividing line through the text. And so that makes that easier to position. This is a little bit more complicated. Everything, of course, is left justified, and I've had to use the right spacing just to get everything to look proper. So I don't feel it's super ideal. It does, however, just create this consistency that like the tie-in between the callout label. So in my camera here, I've got the name as the callout, and that's what's being referenced in the layout, I believe. I have detail callout copy as a macro, and it's going for owner automatic label. Yeah, and that references in the camera setting, that references the name. So I'm working with X10, so there could be a lot more options in the later versions. I haven't looked at that yet, and I might later, but we could still, how else did I set this up? Yeah, we might even be able to get something like this actually in the camera settings. Layout label, that just pulls the layout info. Yeah, layout page label. So how I handle the callouts in the plan, I tend to, obviously this is a pretty standard detail that could be used several times in different sections of the plan or different areas of the plan to designate it. I would probably have this on a layer that's off, but what I've already done is in my layout, in a layer set that only shows the callout, I've sent that callout to the plan, or sorry, to the layout, so I can position these in the layout. I would have to, can I rotate these? They would look a little, just refresh my memory, what does this look like when drawn to the side? Yeah, I would, yeah, this is an option for rotate, might be in the text style. Yeah, I'm still, rotate with plan. So we can uncheck that. But that can have global consequences, so we'd have to assign a specific text style to that layer set for that callout, or maybe even a specific layer for that. But I should be able to, yeah, that reads correctly now. It's turned. So yeah, I can do that. Pop these over. They can have arrows and flakes or whatever if I want. So this works for the way I lay out, because I put my layout for the plan on a separate layer and lock it, and just pull the borders to the expanse so that if there's any growth and changes in the plan, nothing gets cropped out if this is here. And it's because it's on a different layer set and locked, I'm not accidentally selecting it all the time when I'm trying to get, say, this. So that works for my workflow, the way I do things. And because I never move this after, it's well centered, and every plan view throughout the drawing set is exactly centered, regardless of the floor it's on. The position doesn't change, and I never change them as I work on the layout. So there's not much difference between moving these around and placing them where you need them here on the layout, as opposed to doing these boys on the plan, copying them around or whatnot. Your mileage may vary. You people might have different workflows, different setups. That's why I'm sort of not really sure if this is the best for everybody, and it's not even sure if it's the best for me. It's something I'm kind of evaluating. But the benefit, of course, is that these are already always automatically updated, and they reference this camera view on that's sent to the layout on this sheet here. Yeah, it's not perfect. I don't know if I would even use it because I'm pretty comfortable and consistent with how I do this now, that I don't know if this is any less work. The benefit is that it would significantly reduce the chance of a mislabeled callout. Yeah, your guys' thoughts? I don't know. I'm not 100% sold on this myself, but I thought I'd share what I've put into this and see if anyone else has some other ideas. Thanks.